What's going on, everybody? Tom Quiet here, live and amplified. I hope y'all are having an absolutely amazing day. Today, we are back with our traditional Reacts videos. And so with this video, I thought we'd do something a little bit different. Over the next year and a half, we are going to start traveling internationally. We've been invited to several music festivals over in the UK. And so with today's video, I thought it'd be kind of cool to start preparing on how to act and things to expect, because I've never traveled really internationally. I've been to Canada once for like an hour and a half, and I've been down into the Caribbean a little bit. But other than that, I haven't really been internationally. You know, it's like those trips that I made, they were still very Americanized. You were in like tourist areas, so it wasn't like an authentic experience, if you get what I'm saying. So I thought it'd be cool to watch a video on how to behave in the UK and 10 things not to do while we're in the UK. So it's one video that kind of goes over 10 different things that we shouldn't do when we're over in the UK. So I've seen some of these videos before, where you have like Europeans or whatever watch videos about things not to do in the USA. I always find them very comical because they're very exaggerated. So I'm kind of curious if this is going to be kind of the same way. But yeah, let's jump into it. Let's see what we got here.
I know, guys,
10 things not to do in the UK.
About things you should never do in Norway. So today I decided to talk to you about those 10 things you should never do in the UK.
Oh boy, here we go. I'm really interested in this, because like I said, I've seen like European vloggers and YouTubers do similar videos about things not to do in the US, and I always find them humorous.
We are in London, the capital of Great Britain, and I would love to share with you some of those 10 interesting things you should think twice before you're gonna do them in the United Kingdom. To start with, as a tourist, or especially if you're planning to move to the UK, it's extremely important to understand and also to adapt to the local culture. I perfectly know
I think that's 100%,
it might
100%
be
right.
to know all the do's and don'ts in the UK. Therefore, I put a list of 10 major things you should never do in the UK. I'm absolutely confident that this list will help you a lot to avoid those mistakes lots of people tend to make when they just arrive to the UK. First, you should never call the United Kingdom England. It's very important to know that the official name of the UK is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It is made up of 4 countries: England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. Each country has its own.
All right, pause. Because this kind of brings up a funny story. So on the podcast, I had a female musician by the name of Nia. She's from Wales, but she lives in South England now. And we were having a conversation, and I think it was probably like the second or third time I had her on. And I mentioned to her, I was like, you know, I always have a problem deciphering the difference between Great Britain, the UK, and England. Like, I mean, I know what England is, but like the difference between Great Britain and the UK, I always get stupid confused. And so her mother was a teacher, and she sent me a second grade piece of homework or paperwork that she used for like grade schoolers to explain the difference between the UK and Great Britain. And it was very comical. I still have it somewhere. I probably need to go find it, but it was always a very memorable moment on the podcast because it made me feel like such an idiot. So, but anyways, let's jump back into it.
Culture, national identity, and the government. Nothing can be more excruciating for your ears than hearing someone saying something like, England is so beautiful, when they're standing next to Loch Ness in Scotland. Remember, many people from Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales find it offensive when you call them English. So you better don't do it. If you have any doubts, you better stick with calling them British.
Fair. That's very fair.
Second, small talk. To be honest, when somebody is asking you, how are you? It's not a cue for you to tell them everything about your medical history and how your left nostril is a little bit sore today. Let me put it this way. British people don't care much how you really are. When asking somebody, how are you? It's a part of civilities or small talk in the UK. The correct answer to this question would be, I'm fine, thank you so much, how are you? Afterwards, the British person will guide the conversation into a different subject. Like,
I feel like that's pretty common.
How are you? Never reply negatively. Just tell them you're fine and everything is going well. In this country,
hold on,
you
pause.
have to do this.
I don't think I've ever been in a situation where somebody asks me how I'm doing and I say something other than I'm fine, or I'm doing okay, or I'm doing good, or some variation of that answer. Unless it was like a really close friend and they were asking, oh, how's your knee doing? Like, and they were asking something very specific. But I don't really remember in any sort of situation that would have happened. So, anyways, let's jump into it.
People here don't like discussing negative things, and
fair.
Also,
that's very fair.
British people will not know how to handle bad news. Are you enjoying this video so far? Don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more information about travel and living in different countries. Number 3, never block the escalators in the UK. Never take the whole space on the escalator. Stand on your right
I got it.
and let people pass by on the left side. If you take the whole space and you will not allow other people to pass you, believe me, you will hear the locals commenting on you. It's an unspoken rule of British society that the left side of any escalator is reserved for those people who are in a hurry.
That's pretty common in America as well, I think.
On the right-hand side.
I don't take escalators a lot, so.
Ignoring the queuing system.
Oh my God.
Another unspoken law of British society is
The same thing in America.
queuing. You should stay in line directly behind the person in front of you and wait your turn. Remember, this is vital. If everyone obeys the law of queuing, no one gets angry and no one gets hurt.
I mean, that's pretty common everywhere, is it not?
In America, people stay in a line. Here, they queue. You go down to the tube, subway in England, and you will see lots of people.
Wait a minute, pause. Isn't this kind of little hypocritical? Like, if the queuing system, but when going up isn't going up an escalator kind of the same principle? Why would I don't know, whatever. I think I was going somewhere with that, but then I realized it was going to be a stupid thing. But all right, let's see what else is going on here.
Waiting for the train to arrive. If you try to cut the queue, like I used to do when I just arrived to the country, they will make very ugly comments, and they will also think that you're just a rude foreigner who does not respect local customs. The queue jumpers will never be treated kindly here. Oh yeah, let's talk about my
try it in America.
Actually,
you probably
my
get shot.
third vlog. I'm filming from my professional vlogging camera, Sony. If you want to know the details, of course, as usual, I will put all the links in the description below. Those are affiliate links, and if you want to know more details and all specifications about my vlogging cameras, just hit those links. It will bring you right to Amazon, where you find all information you might need. So now, for filming all my videos, I'm using two cameras. My usual action camera GoPro for those great overlays, city views, and also my professional vlogging camera Sony DV1, together with professional mic and professional remote.
Professional.
Number 5. Don't forget your manners. British people taught from a very young age to mind their P's and Q's. It means to remember to say please and thank you.
Well, that's just
pretty much
common
all the
sense,
time.
isn't it?
Thank you.
Please. Forgetting to say those little words will make a huge difference of how British people will react on you. Quick advice for you here. Just finish every second sentence of yours with please, and also at the end of every single conversation, say thank you.
Thank you, Miranda, Bridget.
Thank you. What a cool location I found. Yeah, I feel like a tourist after 10 years of living in London. Number 6. Greetings. British people usually
This could actually be my next
from
question.
meeting strangers. I have to tell you right away that any physical contact is usually reserved for those ones British people feel really comfortable with. Therefore, when you're meeting somebody
That's
in
funny,
the UK
and
for
that's
the
interesting.
first time, just limit it by shaking their hand. Do not, under any condition, give them a hug or especially kisses in the cheeks. Only if they ask you to do this.
Thanks.
Or they were the first to come closer to you and do the same. If you don't mind, okay, give them a hug.
Let me give you a hug.
Number 7. Don't ask them if they know the Queen in person. There are almost 68 million people in the UK, and not all of them know the Queen. Well, if you're this curious and you are in London, you might ask people if they have seen the Queen in real life. They might even dignify this question with a positive answer. And if they do, I bet you will hear an extraordinary story describing in all detail how it actually happened. Number 8. Never refuse a cup of tea. Offering someone a cup of tea when they're coming to visit your house is a welcoming gesture. To refuse that cup of tea will show your host that you don't feel welcome in their house, and it will be considered rather rude.
Tea? I don't drink tea.
So every time you've been asked to share that lovely cup of tea, just say yes and enjoy one of the oldest traditions of this.
That's good to know. Actually, that's kind of good to
you,
know.
You will never be
pause.
disappointed.
That's good to know. I'm curious, kind of, because I'm not a big tea drinker. I don't drink a lot of hot beverages. But if that's like the custom or whatever, I'm sure I could probably suck it up, for lack of better terms. Yeah, so I'd be really interested to see how that goes. Like, if you don't drink, I've never grew up really drinking tea, hot tea or iced tea or any of that stuff. So that's interesting. But anyways, let's see what the rest of this video has.
If you want to go deeper, do as the locals do and ask a dash of milk in a cup with your tea. After 10 years of living in the UK, I cannot imagine my tea without milk anymore. Number 9. When you're in the UK, do not discuss politics or religion
good
with
advice.
someone you don't know. These topics are not usually discussed openly in public in the UK. British people do not feel comfortable to discuss those subjects with people they don't know really well. They just don't want to offend the person they don't know quite well yet. But
that's funny.
After you build some relationships with the locals, rest assured, you can discuss any subject or topic you feel like discussing.
Fair. Very fair.
Number 10. In London, try not to do too much eye contact.
Really?
Are
That's
not
interesting.
big fans of a long, like staring type of eye contact.
Oh, okay.
Especially on a busy public transport, on the train, they will try their best to avoid your staring long eye contact at any cost.
Not gonna lie, that's funny.
They will feel so awkward if you
I think
stare at them for a long time. Or, even worse, if you try to initiate a conversation with a stranger in public.
Okay.
Apart from that, welcome to London. Thank you
That's
so
funny.
much, guys.
That's
for
so
watching
funny.
This video.
Okay.
Until then, I hope you enjoyed it. And next time when you're coming to the UK, you will avoid those typical mistakes many people tend to do here. Stay safe, be happy, and as our tradition goes, I will see you next week. Bye.
All right. So that, like, I mean, I feel like a lot of that was very common sense type stuff. A lot of that stuff we wouldn't do here in America, to be honest with you. The only real question I still have is, like, minding your P's and Q's. I get 100% get that. But how do people in the UK respond to using the phrase like, thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, stuff of that nature? Because that was something that was drilled into me when I was growing up, is sir, ma'am is a sign of respect. So that's really the only question I have at this point. And I'm sure it's not even that big of a deal, but I don't know. So that, like, if anybody's watching this video is from Britain, Great Britain, the UK, whatever, let me know. Let me know what the protocol is there, or anybody that's been across the pond, let me know. That's really the only other question I have. Other than that, you know, it seems all pretty straightforward at this point. So I think we should be good to go. But once again, thank you all so much. This was the first video. I'm sure I'll find a few other videos as we prepare to go across the pond for Live and Amplified. But once again, thank you all so very much, and I'll talk to you all later.